They call it Groot, Gamora, Rocket, Peter Jason Quill.
What a bunch of a-holes.
Dance off, bro. Me and you.
Welcome to the frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy.
What's going on, everyone? It's Semp. Welcome. Got another video here about the future of the MCU and how Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be the movie that kicks off the cosmic universe in the MCU going forward. So let's dive into it and talk about the future of the Guardians team, the Annihilators, cosmic villains, and a whole lot more. Drop a like if you enjoy, and if you're new or just keep coming back for more, click that subscribe button to become a part of the AMG family. But other than that, let's get into the video. Let's go. So the MCU and the Guardians team as we know it is about to completely change. The universe is about to explode with new characters, new storylines, but most of all, a different way of telling stories as we talked about in my last video. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. Click the link in the top right and then come back here, or just stay here and check this one out first. But anyway, the cosmic universe and the exploration of the multiverse is the next step and evolution in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that's going to start with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And honestly, it should have already started, but the firing of James Gunn delayed that cosmic universe entry into the MCU. I think Guardians would have been probably the first or second movie here in Phase 4, followed by the Eternals, which would of course shape the cosmic universe. But nevertheless, I'm happy with what we got, so let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and what that will bring us when it comes out in Phase 5, most likely in 2023. Now, James Gunn has been adamant that Volume 3 will be the last time that we will see the Guardians team together as we know it, and he's hinted at a death of a major character. So we'll get into that in a bit. However, it's also going to introduce us to our first true look at the cosmic universe of the MCU. Like I said, so while the Guardians are essentially a space-based team, the Guardians bridge the gap between the cosmic and Earth-grounded conflicts like what we saw when they finally clashed in Infinity War. So while the Guardians are cosmic, James Gunn has said it won't feel like the cosmic universe, and that's basically because we truly don't know what that cosmic universe experience is going to be yet. Kevin Fiege has also backed up this statement, saying that yes, it will lead us into the cosmic universe, but staying within the Guardians feel. So let's discuss that groundwork. First off, I want to pitch an idea that we could possibly see for the movie, and then discuss how this transitions into introducing the cosmic universe. So the Guardians splitting up into teams, almost like how you saw it in Infinity War, is a plausible plot theory for me, because remember, they're supposedly going to be in Thor 4, but to what extent we don't really know yet. So I can see a scenario that splits them into where Rocket and Groot are with Thor, Star-Lord and Nebula are out there looking for Gamora, and then you have Drax and Mantis looking for Drax's daughter and possibly his wife. That was a rumor, so overlooking all of this huge conflict with the Sovereign, Adam Warlock, and the High Evolutionary, who would truly be our first massive cosmic villain. Obviously we had Thanos, Ego, Ronan, but the High Evolutionary is the introduction to the cosmic universe that Marvel wants to take us to, and that new look and feel. The introduction of Warlock would be another side piece to his introduction, but the mystery of Warlock kind of still remains. So if you haven't seen it yet, check out my video on how the Infinity Stones could possibly return. I do touch upon Adam Warlock's connection to the High Evolutionary and the Soul Stone, but to pretty much sum it up, the High Evolutionary gives Adam Warlock his name in the comics. So is it possible that the Sovereign is overlooked by the High Evolutionary in the MCU? Did he help create Warlock in the MCU? We know it's rumored that he created Rocket and that we will see his story arc finally fleshed out, so it's very possible that the High Evolutionary did help the Sovereign create the pod for Adam Warlock, which would not only be an awesome connection, but a great way to introduce him into the story. I'll also be discussing Galactus a little bit more in a couple minutes, but it's worth noting that the High Evolutionary and Warlock have a connection to Counter-Earth. Later on in the comics, one of Galactus' heralds then discovers Counter-Earth as well. Again, it may be a stretch, but technically all theories are, right? So what if this is the MCU's way of slowly introducing Galactus? Almost like how Thanos was in the Infinity Saga. Show him behind the scenes pulling the strings slowly, and this would be a first attempt at that, but aside from the High Evolutionary, the Guardians could very well be the introducing team for the Annihilators as the main cosmic team, which would then take the Guardians' place. So now let's talk about Thor, the God of Thunder. and I don't think he's coming back only for 1 or 2 more appearances. Thor has the potential to be a really big part of the universe, and to the point where he can still tie into the Galactus and the High Evolutionary storyline, especially traveling with the Guardians.
Oh, here we are. Tree, good to see you. Well, how's Guardians of the Galaxy back together again? Oh, where to first?
The evolved essence of the High Evolutionary and Hercules were at one point harvested by the Celestials, which was then manipulated for unknown purposes in the Black Galaxy. So not only does Guardians 3 or Thor 4 have the potential to bring in Galactus, but also Hercules as well fits into this cosmic realm with Thor, the High Evolutionary, and from recent reports, the rumors are that Hercules will be making his debut in a project very soon. But take a look around and really nothing makes sense for Hercules except maybe Eternals. But that cast is already massive and we've heard no possibilities of him joining that MCU project. So my guess would be Guardians 3 or Thor 4. But anyway, if you look deeper into the comics, Thor actually follows Galactus into the Black Galaxy at one point in an effort to kill him with the Deviants. So now, here's how the Eternals can get into the mix here. And the Black Galaxy is a very important part of the Marvel Comics. To give a quick summary of some events that have occurred there, it is a living bioverse. Ego the Living Planet was born there. The Celestials later summoned Thor and Hercules back to the Black Galaxy, where Celestial tech was found. New Celestials were born there, Galactus traveled through there. So, to dumb it down, just know that it is an important part of the cosmic universe, and I wouldn't be shocked to see it. As we've already seen Ego in Volume 2, how do we know that that wasn't a part of the Black Galaxy? But to get back to talking about Thor, let's also talk about the Annihilators. Now, one of the biggest reasons I believe Thor fits into this movie is based on, of course, the fans loving him with the Guardians, but also he has a power level that can help match Adam Warlock and the High Evolutionary in Guardians 3. He's the power level that the Guardians need because someone like Star-Lord and Drax truly can't hang with him, at least in the MCU from what we've seen. And now that Thor 4 comes before Guardians 3, it's pretty much certain that he's not going to be killed off in that movie unless the timeline is reversed. So like I mentioned in the beginning, the importance of Guardians 3 besides the ending of some of their arcs, it will of course finish this incarnation of the team in the MCU. James Gunn has said it's probably my last one and probably the last one with the current team, but you never know. And I really think the you never know part is just there to keep us thinking that no death will occur. But if I did have to guess on who would die, I'm going to say Drax. I know the theory is Rocket considering the arc that he's currently on, but Rocket is just voice acted by Bradley Cooper. We have heard rumors that, like I said before, Drax's daughter and wife are possibly still alive. To save them and commit the ultimate sacrifice would be something that I could see happening. But what if it's Star-Lord? Now, I don't think it will be, but hear me out on this theory. And this is where the Annihilators truly come into play here. The Annihilators' first appearance was in the Thanos Imperative Devastation comic, which came out in 2011 and was written by Dan Abnett. And that storyline is a big inspiration for James Gunn in these movies. The Annihilators were created by Cosmo the Space Dog, who was on the late Guardians team, and when Star-Lord died, he wanted to fulfill Star-Lord's goal of attempting to form the Annihilators, which was to protect against cosmic entities and galactic wars. Now, the team would be home to members like Silver Surfer, who's also coming because of the Fantastic Four. Beta Ray Bill has been teased now a few times, and I'd be shocked not to see him in Thor 4. The team obviously has other members, but the MCU will probably change it up traditionally considering they always deviate a little bit away from the comics. And since Ronan the Accuser is a member of this team but he's now dead in the MCU, I could see them using guys like Nova and Warlock pretty much to replace some of the cosmic characters that they either are not going to bring in yet or they don't have plans to at all. I would really like to see Cosmo the Space Dog though. That'd be cool to have him as another pet hero. But if Rocket gets his soulmate from the comics, Lady Lila, I would not be mad about that either. That's another reason why I don't think Rocket is dying, because of the rumors that Lila would be in the movie. So anyways, I can see the Annihilators being the Avengers of the cosmic universe, with the sub-team of Guardians breaking off at times. And like we spoke about, I'm almost certain that Galactus will be teased at some point. Maybe not in this movie, but like I've said with the introduction of Silver Surfer, Beta Ray Bill, Nova, and most likely a couple others, the Annihilators and a whole intro of Annihilation storyline could very well set up within this movie, and further set up a Nova movie, and also Annihilus in the future. He could be one of the big bad cosmic villains, And then overarching would be Galactus, which would be the end-all be-all of the next MCU saga. But to get to Galactus, there has to be all this other conflict and villains before him, because somebody like Doctor Doom or Galactus, you can't really just rush into them, you have to build them up over a long period of time. So no matter how you look at it, the next phases will be split, but of course still connected in the long run, and as I mentioned in my last video, we will have the Earth and quantum based villains over time. That can be a combo of Kang, the Dark Avengers, kind of like how Loki and Ultron were villains before Thanos. Then you can have Doom as the overarching villain of that portion, and maybe even the entire thing. And then in the cosmic universe, you have someone like Annihilators, which could eventually lead us to Galactus and cross over with Doom, connecting both the Earth-based projects and the cosmic ones. Either way, there's a lot of cosmic material to go over, so of course, let me know your thoughts and tell me what videos you want to see next. I have a lot of video ideas currently coming up. I have 2 video essays, more Eternal stuff, Shang-Chi, the Avengers game coming out in the fall, and of course some more Phase 4 and Phase 5 breakdowns. But as always, you can find me on Twitter at AnotherMarvelG to keep up to date with all my new content and announcements. All links to my socials are below, including where you can find the podcast. And to help out the channel, if you did like the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed with the notification bells turned on so you don't miss any new videos. And remember that giveaway is still live, giving away some pop figure goodies at the 1K sub mark. Details are in the description or click in the top right corner right now. But other than that, I just want to say thank you. I'm another Marvel guy, and I'll catch y'all in a blip.